Hi, this is the first in a series of videos that go along with the exercises of the book Dynamic Thinking, a primer on dynamic field theory. And in this first video, I'm going to show you how to get all the technical requirements out of the way so that you can start with the exercises. So what I'm going to cover is how to get all the software installed and set up in your system. And then we're going to have a quick look at the first simulator for the first exercise. So this computer that I'm doing this recording on is basically clean. I'm going to have to install everything that you will need to, except for one thing. This computer already has Matlab installed. So if your computer doesn't, you will have to install Matlab first. I'm not going to show you how to do that here. There's a lot of information on the web. Just go to the MathWorks page. They have quite detailed instruction on how to set up Matlab on your computer, and then resume viewing the video afterward. Okay. Another thing that I should note is that I'm recording this video on a Linux machine, so all the graphical user interfaces may look a little different to what you're used to if you're on a Windows PC or on a Mac. But in principle, everything I'm doing here can be done on your system as well. It may just look a little different. Okay. So the first thing we'll have to do is get all the software that we want to install, and we are hosting them on our website. So I'm looking at the dynamicfieldtheory.org website yet. There is a software category here where I'm going to go, and this has a list of two software frameworks that we develop and use. The first one is called COSIVINA. This is a Matlab framework. And the second is Cedar, which is a C++ framework. For the book, we're going to use Matlab, so we're going to use COSIVINA for all the exercises. And there's a button here to set up COSIVINA, which takes you to another page with a lot of information on how to install it. And we're going to focus on this part here, the quick installation for Matlab. It's a quick 5 steps to do this. If you're interested in more intricate things, you can look at the rest of the text, but we're just going to focus on this now. So the first step is to actually get the source code. So we have to download first COSIVINA itself, and there's a link here. So I'm going to save this. Where did it go? Here. I'm going to save this in some folder. I created a folder in my home directory. It's called source. I'm just going to save that there. And I'm going to do the same thing with the JSON lab. We need these two. I'm going to say what they are in a second there. Okay, so we downloaded this, and I'm now going to go into my file browser. So there we are in the source folder, and there we have the two zip files that we just downloaded. Now this here with a funny name is COSIVINA. So we're going to start with this and extract the zip file. This may look different on your system, so I'm just going to extract it here to the same folder. Okay, that worked. Here are the contents of this archive. And now that I have extracted it, I can basically delete the archive. We don't need that anymore. And I'm going to rename this this folder. It doesn't really matter what the name is, but for clarity, I'm just going to name it COSIVINA. So I'm now doing the same thing with the JSON lab. JSON lab is another library that COSIVINA needs for you to be able to save and load configuration files. So I'm going to extract it just as I did with COSIVINA. Extract it to the same folder. And then this and the license are the other contents. We can actually get rid of the license. and the archive. So we're left with these two folders. Okay, So, and there's stuff in here. You can see that there are files in there. And now we want to use this in Matlab. So we're going to open Matlab, something I've did before, and then navigate in this file tree here to the same folder. For me, it's the source folder. And you'll find the two folders that you just extracted in here, COSIVINA and JSONLab. And we're going to open the COSIVINA folder and then look for a script that's called setpath.m and open that. I double click that. And then we're going to run this. And what this does is, okay, not found. We click add to path here. And then it runs the script, and this actually adds all the things into the path of Matlab. It adds COSIVINA, all the examples, and the JSONLab, so that Matlab knows where things are. And it does down here. It says all required directories added to path, and the directory JSONLab was also added for the JSONLab support, so that everything worked. We can close this file. And now actually COSIVINA is already installed. So we can have a look at whether everything worked by looking to the examples folder. And in the examples folder, you will find a bunch of scripts. A lot of these are called launcher something. And a few of these are actually simulators that you'll find you will have to use in the exercises of the book. So we're going to start, just to see whether everything worked, we're going to start the simulator that's going to be used for the first exercise of the first chapter. And that's called launcher2neuronsimulator.m. There it is. Double click it to open. And then you can see the source code here. If you're into code, you can have a look at what this does. We're just going to run it now by clicking on the green button up here. This will open a new window. Takes a bit. There it is. Now this is the simulator, and this is one of the simulators actually. There are a few others that are going to be used. They all look, they have similar things like these buttons down here, but most of the simulators consist of plots like these here, some controls where you have sliders that control parameters, and then some buttons that allow you to pause the simulation, reset it, and save and load parameters and so on. Okay, we're going to go into detail into this simulator in the next video for the first exercise. But let me show you that this simulation is already doing something. You can't really see it here because nothing is moving, but this is already a simulation of two dynamical systems, and you can see that it's actually doing something. If I change the parameters here, for instance, if I add noise to this first dynamical system, you can see that it's wobbling around. So it's doing something. If I add input, you'll see a much more drastic change. If I take it away again. Okay, so this is already simulating a dynamical system. And the same with this, with the plots down here, they're also doing something. I'm going to quit this. Everything seemed to have worked. So now you can use this simulator and all the other ones for the exercise. So this concludes this video, and you can now go ahead and work on the exercises of the book. They should all work. I hope you have fun with this, and I hope this video was helpful to you.